Welcome back, my name is LastKnownMeal and today we're gonna be talking about Cyberpunk 2077. Well, to be more precise, we're going to talk about all the gameplay details from this year's demo. Because CDPR did show the demo behind closed doors on E3 this year, sadly we're not going to see it until August. They promised after Gamescom they will release the gameplay, the full 45 new gameplay is going to be released on YouTube. So I know it's August, I know people are a bit angry that they didn't get a lot. I know, but let's wait. I mean, their explanation is that they want to leave something for Gamescom. They can't show everything on E3. You have to keep the hype, and it makes sense. I know people are kind of disappointed, but at the same time, look, we got a lot of things to go through. So I'll be going through the IGN article to see everything that they saw in the demo. We're going to analyze it because there is a lot of new juicy information. And honestly, this is amazing. So I read this twice and every time when I was reading this, I was like, I want to play the game. So enough chit chat, let's go through everything that IGN saw. Be warned, this is an advanced demo from partway throughout the game, so spoilers are ahead. So if you're someone who doesn't want to know the details, I'm sorry, but this video is going to be full of spoilers. Now, the footage is introduced as still work in progress, which makes sense considering Cyberpunk is an April 16th, 2020 game. Yes, they need more time to polish everything. It makes sense, but can't wait for that demo. Once we're ready to show this to the public, we will. August after Gamescom. Cyberpunk is a narrative-driven open-world action RPG, something we knew. They're going to focus on gameplay mechanics this time, which is amazing. Like previously, it was more of a here is Night City and here is how you can do a mission. But in this gameplay, it's a bit different. So roughly 15 minutes of brand new gameplay will be shown. Amazing, and you play as V. This is something we already know. The demo is from the middle of the game. So the middle of the game. V has been implanted against his will with a biochip that holds the secret to immortality. That is the immortality chip we saw in the cinematic trailer that Dex wanted to extract from V. And the whole premise of the story is going to be revolved around the chip. Like the majority of the story will be revolved around uncovering the secrets of the immortality chip. He is being haunted by a digital ghost named Johnny Silverhand, who is played by Keanu Reeves. That is something I said in my previous video. There is no way in hell Johnny Silverhand is alive, but for some reason he is inside that chip. And Johnny is going to be something as a guide. He's not going to be there physically, he's going to be in our head and only us, I guess, will be able to see him. So he is going to provide some assistance during the game, so that's amazing. I still have no idea about the other two, the Saburo Arasaka and Morgan Blackhand. I am not sure if they will appear, but for now, like, IGN is telling us nothing around that. They only tell us about Johnny Silverhand. V is getting help from a group of netrunners named Voodoo Boys. That is something that was discussed such a long time. There has been some hints. I think Mad Queen was onto that for such a long time, but Voodoo Boys will be helping us. So netrunners are going to be extremely important in the game. As we already know, you can change V hair color, skin color, eye color, and facial features. There are lots of facial customization options, which is cool. I want people to be able to customize their character as much as they can, so this is definitely a plus in my book. Silverhand, when you leave the customization menu, he says, come on, you really think they give a rat's dick how you look? This is great. When V meets the Voodoo Boys at the chapel, they reveal they have Haitian ties. This is great. We're moving through a huge crowd in a chapel as preacher gives a sermon. That is cool. When meeting your Voodoo Boys contact, the Street Kid life path choice opened up as an alternative dialogue option. So this is something you actually set in the character creation. You can set your backstory, and if you have a Street Kid as a selection in your backstory, you will have more options, which makes sense. This is something that Fallout had. Like if you had something like a lady killer or something like that, like a perk, in some ways you can have an alternate dialogue option, which usually is for your benefit. The contact directs you to a butcher shop to ask for someone named Placide. Did I read this right? Placide? I hope this is the name of the guy. I'm sorry. Graffiti on the wall says, "Where's Johnny?" That is something we already have. The screenshot, I mean the screenshot from the game is actually available right now, and it's actually a nice screenshot. And where's Johnny? Such a cool Easter egg. If you watched The Shining, you know the scene. Here's Johnny, so that's cool. The demo takes place in the Pacifica region of the city, which was initially supposed to be fancy, but investors pulled out and left it in a wreck. I think we also have a screenshot of that huge ass building, which is now completely abandoned, and oh my god, it looks really goddamn cool. There's real-time translation of someone talking you in Creole, thanks to an implant chip. They speak it and you just read subtitles. So yes, different languages will be in the game, but the subtitle is going to be the translation of everything that person speaks, and you will be able to understand. You meet Placide, I don't know how to pronounce this, who then leads you somewhere to give you a job. We're trying to learn more about the chip on our head. It's repeated that it's not there by V's choice. That is something I discussed in my previous video, so the chip is going to stay in our head. And that's why we see Johnny Silverhand, and that's why everything that goes from that moment is because of that chip. So there is already an outline of the story. We finally know some of the juicy details, because previously in the previous gameplay demo we had nothing. We knew we were doing a job for Dex, but that's pretty much it. We didn't know that this chip is going to be so important, which makes sense. Pacifica looks like an extremely rundown boardwalk-ish district, a little like Santa Monica. We see hotels, a Ferris wheel, and flamingo statues. That's cool. A rival gang called the Animals have moved into a rundown mall called the Gym, which is something that we had in that short gameplay teaser after Keanu went on stage, where we actually hack people. We head to a hotel converted into a tech haven and visit a shopkeeper called Grant's Tech Shop. That's gonna be amazing. There are a lot of shops to find, and more stuff unlocks as your street cred goes up. This is extremely important. If you want access to a better gear, you need to get your street cred up by doing missions and side missions for people all around Night City. Yes, I know, it's so goddamn hot. This character is getting Netrunner stuff, since in this case we're playing as a Netrunner. So what's amazing about this gameplay demo is they're going to focus a lot on Netrunning, and that is something we didn't see a lot in the previous gameplay demo, so this one is going to revolve a lot more around that. I know people are extremely excited around it. I know I am, even though I'm not going to be much of a Netrunner kind of a character, but still extremely important for a lot of people. To clarify the Silverhand thing mentioned earlier, he is literally just a voice in your head, like a narrator, at least so far. We don't know if he's going to be alive in some form, but he's definitely there as Siri. There are a lot of clothing customization options, which is cool. I know people want to look slick, and I can't wait to see what they have in store for us. We bought something called Demon Software, maybe Daemon, that gave us a new ability when equipped. Okay, cool. Placide leads us to an office to talk, where he tells us to take a job before he'll tell us anything more. Yes, so Placide is actually the man we see in the gameplay teaser that was released on E3. So the guy that we sit in front of and say, Mr. Hand sent me, that is the guy that IGN is talking about. We jacked into Placide's computer system. We're told we didn't have to, and that could have backfired if he then took advantage of it, but we did it anyway just to look up info on that chip you want to know about. You'd taken a bullet to the brain at some point and the chip supposedly stopped working. This is an extremely important detail. And yes, Silverhand is like a hologram chilling behind the guy we're talking about. So yes, that is definitely the moment from the short teaser. He looks exactly like he did in the trailer. He has a little blue tint and is glitching out. He makes occasional comments. That's gonna be fun. We take his mission. Placide's mission lets him use you so you can see what you see as you head to the gym to liberate it from the animals. So actually it's possible for someone to go inside your head and, you know, take control of your eyes. Someone has equipped the animals with high-tech gear, which is super weird, so you gotta find out who and why. I really hope it opens up like a new possibility after this quest to know who is arming those guys. There has to be someone else. Some player needs to be involved here. Now, Placide is also talking to you through your head. It's getting crowded in here. There's a full dynamic day and night cycle. Sunset looks nice, which is something we already knew. And they did say that some of the areas and the zones in Night City are going to change depending on day and night. So for example, if you go to the combat zone during the night, well, even during the day, you're not going to have the best, the best experience, but just keep that in mind. Things change as night comes and day comes as well, so that's amazing. We come across Yaibi Kusanagi motorcycle and riding it. It's one from the collector's edition. Motorcycle driving looks fairly arcadey and sort of stiff. Okay, hopefully CDPR is going to work on this, because I know a lot of people want to drive a motorcycle more than they want to drive a car. I mean, Akira, come on here. But yeah, it's always a bit difficult to get motorcycle driving inside a video game. Cars are a whole different thing, but motorcycles are a bit difficult to code in. Hopefully that's going to be polished once the game comes out, but it's still work in progress. I mean, we don't know when they added a bike. Maybe it was just like something they added recently and they still didn't have time to polish it. You can change the radio to listen to different stations and can swap between first and third person perspectives. That is extremely important. Once you're driving, you will be able to switch. Only when you are driving, not when you're outside the vehicle. Keep that in mind. I know someone said, third person, we're gonna be able to change. No. Just when you're driving. Well, just when you are in the vehicle, you will be able to change. Once you go on foot, it's only first person. You can travel across the whole world freely and seamlessly with no loading screens. This is amazing. This is great. So every single building you visit, every single part of the Night City or the map you visit is not going to have loading screens. There will be some when you fast travel, when probably some missions load, but besides that, no loading screens in the game. We meet up with some Voodoo Boy lookouts outside the gym mall. That's cool. We driving around a huge parking lot to going through the back entrance for a stealthier approach. That's optional. Something that they actually said on E3, that they really want to give us the freedom in this game. So it's not like Witcher was in a way a bit linear when it comes to story, but keep in mind Geralt is already an established character. You do have dialogue choices, you do have different endings, but Cyberpunk, and which makes it different from The Witcher, really gives you that freedom, really gives you that RPG freedom that people want. Is that if you want to go in stealthily, you can go. If you want to go with full guns blazing, you can do that as well. You will have consequences for your actions, but you can do it. It's not against the law. It's not going to give you a game over unless you die, but everything is optional in this game. You really want to go in and create a character you want to create, and they said so that after you finish the game, you can say, all right, this was my adventure, and maybe go for a different playthrough with a different character. That's something they're definitely aiming for. The animals value strength and drink something called juice that makes them crazy strong, so they are fully on steroids. As we sneak by guards, they'll have 18 next to their names, most likely a level indicator. Yes, 18 is going to be the level, and it's crazy that they said like the chip is from the middle of the game, so that means that before that we're not going to have the chip, and that means that Jackie is going to be alive, because he did die after the Dex situation. So we'll see. I still have no clue on that. Animal guards go to attack the Voodoo Boy Scouts who have been discovered, so we snuck by after they leave. Okay, that's cool. Also, yeah, the game is, you will be able to finish Cyberpunk 2077 without killing anyone. So that's a whole new option that I will definitely not go with. P is holding what looks like an SMG with a red dot sight right now, but we haven't fought anybody yet. That is actually the SMG from the theater scene, and theater scene is actually in the gameplay. So the short gameplay teaser you saw after Keanu, that's actually the full gameplay video. It's just been cut down to just a couple of scenes, but that is something we can expect from the 15 minutes gameplay demo. We're looking for the high-tech van now. Okay. We grab a guard stealthily. We can either kill him or dispose of him in a non-lethal way. In this case, we toss him down a nearby garbage chute. Okay, that is fun. That is actually something we also saw in the gameplay when he snaps his neck. I think that's actually from that gameplay. Players can play the entire game without killing an enemy if you wish. Non-lethal runs, here we come. That is something that I already talked about. That is cool. Like before, they said you can't really go through the game and not kill anyone, but I guess they added the option, and that's a very welcoming thing. There's a locked door. You could physically open it, but since this player's character is a hacker, we found a terminal to hack it. Hacking minigame confirmed. Yes. That is something which has been discussed. Hacking is going to be a mini game in Cyberpunk. There is a grid of hex codes that you pick out the right ones for. Completing the basic level will give you access, but you can get more optional benefits for doing even better. So that means either disable security or open more doors, blah 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 blah. So you finish the basic hacking, and if you're up for more, you can actually benefit your playthrough a lot more. But yes, the mini game is going to be in the game. Hopefully it's going to be polished. Hopefully it's not going to be boring, because that's something none of us wants. So that's cool. We come across some animal guards boxing against the bot. That is something we also saw in the gameplay teaser. We use a quick hack from afar on the bot to turn up the difficulty, and it knocked the dude out cold. It's super funny and still stealthy. That's something you can do as a netrunner. The whole point of being a netrunner is to go through the building and use everything around you, because everything is connected to your advantage. So you create havoc around you, but no one saw you, and you can go and just get around the dudes. We quick hacked the drink machine to drop soda, causing a noise that distracts some dudes. Then we use a crazy laser cold thing to kill them stealthily from behind, including slicing off an arm for. That is something we also saw, like when he swings twice after that animal, which is like holding a big ass hammer and is fully armored out. So that cord is going to be used as a utility and also as a weapon. We found a van. Cyberpunk 2077 has a fluid class system that allows you to mix and match abilities. This is extremely important, because in the middle of the game you can just say, oh my god, I really want something else. It gives you freedom to go and choose different abilities and, you know, change your class up a bit. We're now using a developer tool to go back to the middle of the mission to replay it as more strength-focused version of V to open the door by force. This is cool. Hopefully they show this in the gameplay. I really want to see both options. I want to see the stealth hacking approach, and I want to see the full brute approach that you can actually have in the game. This opened up a new path to skip the guys we had to sneak by entirely, which is cool. Again, as I said, every mission is different depending on your choices, and this definitely increases the replayability of the game. Now we skip back the van and we're eavesdropping on some animals, but we are not listening too long in the interest of time. Okay, we're still trying to be stealthy, but we use our strength to do a melee takedown on a guy and stab someone with a broken bottle, slice the heck out of them. That's cool. I think if we're able to use things around us, objects, to actually, you know, dispose of someone, that's gonna be extremely cool. You can use perk points earned on level up to upgrade a number of categories: blades, rifles, handguns, assassination, cold blood, sniper rifles, engineering, hacking, shotgun, melee, two-handed, and maybe one more I didn't have time to write down. But we have a lot of upgrade options, especially if you go with assassination or sniper rifles. You really have the freedom to create the character you want. Yes, you can have the basic idea of your character if you want to be a hacking type, if you want to be a solo type, if you want to be a brute kind of a guy, but what's extremely important is that you can actually break down that class with different options to really pinpoint your style. So that's definitely a plus in my book. Again, also your appearance, how you look like, is going to result in gameplay changes. People are going to view you differently depending on your appearance, so also be careful on that. Another strength move, using an enemy as a bullet shield, ripping away an enemy's gun and using it. Okay, this is fun. This is definitely fun. I want to see how that works. Besides, you know, just using someone as a shield, you can actually hack someone's rifle, which is something we saw in the previous gameplay video. If you hack someone's rifle, you can just go in front of him and he's not going to be able to shoot. There is also something you want to do if you want a more stealthier approach or you just want to stay alive. There's some cool bloody feedback when hitting people. This is nice. This is important because if there is one thing that goes on my nerves, especially when there is fighting scenes, when I shoot someone, I really want to feel that. I want to feel the feedback of the gun and also of someone that I hit. We just went on a crazy killing spree. That's fun. We shot a dude in the knee and it made him limp. Okay. That is something we also saw in the gameplay video, where you can basically dismember people if you shoot them in the leg or the arm or something like that. Now we're switching back to wimpy old Netrunner V, who snuck to the van. It turns out to be from Netwatch, an agency dedicated to fighting cybercrime. This is Netwatch's attempt to bring down the Voodoo Boys by surveilling them with that van. Oh boy. The corpos are moving in on the Voodoo Boys. That laser cable is called a monowire. Okay, we finally have the name of that weapon. It's held like a garrote and can be used to hack people from afar or slice them up crazy up close. I love this. I love how weapons can also be utilities, but if, you know, shit goes down, you can go and just use it to kill someone. Perks also affect dialogue options. This is important for an RPG, and I know people want that. So if you are stupid, if your intelligence is low, I want my dialogue options to actually show that. So yeah. We're now going after the Netrunners from Netwatch who are behind us. Okay, we're back to using that SMG and we hacked the turret to fight for us. Oh, this is so great. Especially because you have different options while you are in combat to use stuff around you to help you. So yeah, net running is not that boring as some people pointed out. Like, I actually had people telling me like, oh, net running, that's hacking. No, 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 no. Trust me, it's cool. Then using the tool, the daemon we bought, we hacked someone and gave it to them. That made him pull the pin on a grenade he was holding, killing him. Hacking made someone else shut themselves down too. So we can actually hack people during the fight. We can just make them, throw a grenade or just turn them down. That's cool. We used the buff to move faster. Nice. We zoomed in to eavesdrop on Sasquatch, the leader of the animals. She has a huge... Okay, Sasquatch is actually the thing, the woman we fight in the short gameplay teaser when we use the monovire. The monovire. So her name is Sasquatch. Okay. Uses it in a cool boss fight. She has a weak point glowing on her back that you have to shoot after dodging her attack. Breaking it cut off her juice supply, making her too weak to hold the hammer. And that is something I was really looking forward to when it comes to boss fights, boys. I want something to change during the fight. If they have a weak spot and if I hit it, I want them to change. And that makes boss fights interesting, it makes them different, and it makes them fun. If every single boss is just shoot, 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 they don't have weak spots, it's boring. But this thing, definitely a plus. She's not done yet, she grabbed and hacked us, okay. If the hack finishes, it's the bar at the top of the screen, so someone in the middle of the fight can actually start hacking us. We straight up die, but we managed to kill her first. So besides worrying about people shooting us, we also have to worry about people hacking us, and that's also a nice addition. The environments are fairly destructible, with walls and pieces of cover getting torn up with bullet holes during a fight. We already saw this. You can actually shoot people through some of the materials, which makes sense. After the battle, we headed into a movie theater, something we saw, but we got cut off from Placide. There we found the Netwatch special agent. He wants to talk to you in private, so he severed the connection to Placide. He tells you Netwatch wants to buy you out. And at Placide, god damn it, this name, plans to kill you after the job. Okay, so during the mission, you will get through some twists and turns, and that's cool. NPCs will interject with quick lines while they wait for you to choose a dialogue option. That's gonna be fun. Like, oh, I'm waiting here, just choose something. We have the choice to incapacitate the agent, ask him to back up the claim, use your street kid option to relate to the Voodoo Boys, and a few others. So yes, new dialogue options are going to be available throughout the game. We choose to incapacitate and hack him to free Bridget, who is the person you've been trying to get a meeting with. You get knocked out. When you reboot, Johnny is there to talk. He says the Netwatch guy was right. As soon as you gave him access, Placide fried everyone on the network, including us, but we somehow survived. We looted several individual piles of money on the table and left the mall. The voodoo boy outside offered to give us a ride back to the guy. That's funny. A loading screen was shown just for the fast travel. As I said, fast travel will have loading screen, which makes sense. Again, you can otherwise go through the entire game without loading screens. Nice. Bridget is back with the guy when we get there, and she knows about the chip. We're looking to talk to Alt Cunningham, an established Cyberpunk character, about it. Alt Cunningham is a netrunner. She is extremely important in Cyberpunk 2020. She created a beta version of Soulkiller, which creates like a copy of the netrunner inside the net. And there's a lot of stuff around her when she was kidnapped by Arasaka, blah 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 blah, but basically she is still in the net. At the end of that story, her backup, I guess, stayed inside the net, so we're gonna be looking for Alt Cunningham. Alt was the first person to make themselves into a fully digital consciousness. Yes, Alt is inside the net, and she knows a lot. Bridget leads you to the heart of the voodoo hideout. So Bridget is actually also the woman we saw in the gameplay teaser. This is all coming together now. We're using Johnny as a bait to draw put Cunningham, and there's a good reason why. Getting into an ice bath to go into cyberspace. The world disappears, then comes back as a wacky digital version that looks like Tron mixed with the Matrix. So this is going to be the look of the net that we also saw in the gameplay teaser. So you go inside the net, that is the whole premise, and then you search for programs and you also search for Old Cunningham. Unraveling the mystery of the chip is a big part of the plot, and with that, the demo is over. So some of the things I read here are definitely important, and that is something I discussed in my previous video where Johnny is not physically there, he is actually inside of us, inside our consciousness, and most of the most important characters, including Old Cunningham, are going to be in the game, which makes me think that Morgan Blackhand and Saburo Arasaka are also could be present in the game, I don't know, in some form, but yeah, we have to wait and see for that. But overall, the outline of the story is around that chip. I know there is a lot more to talk about here, there is a lot more around the story, and we're gonna go through that once we actually know more after Gamescom when they release the gameplay demo, but the entire gameplay demo is going to be focused a lot on Netrunning, which is cool. And that is pretty much everything we know from this. Hopefully I managed to shed some light on this entire situation. And I know this was a longer video, but we had a lot of things to go through, and hopefully enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like and subscribe button. Also tell me down below if I missed something. If you saw something that I didn't, please tell me down below. And I will be making more Cyberpunk videos next couple of days. We're all tired, but we have work to do. And that's it. Also, don't forget to join me up on Twitter and Discord. We have an amazing community there, so you are all welcome to continue the discussion about Cyberpunk there. And that's it. Stay classy, everyone, or stay breathtaking if you want to go that way. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.